Stand tall, glowing star, nothing can break you. It should feel cinematic, emotional, and grounded in real life with struggles, twists, and an ending that hits hard. I'll write it in a natural storytelling flow, as if it were a screenplay in words. Here's your story. Stand tall, glowing star, nothing can break you. The night was quiet in Queens, New York, except for the sound of the subway rumbling above the old apartment blocks. Rain tapped against the cracked window of apartment 4C, where Amir Khan, a 42-year-old Pakistani immigrant, sat hunched over his kitchen table. His hands, scarred from years of dishwashing and construction work, clutched a letter trembling in his grip. Final notice, rent due. Eviction in 7 days. The words blurred through his tired eyes. He had crossed oceans for a better life, but here he was broken, cornered, and almost invisible in a city that promised dreams but often delivered debts. Amir hadn't always been like this. Back in Lahore, he was a schoolteacher, respected, educated, and proud. But after his wife, Amina, died suddenly of illness, he sold everything to come to America with his 10-year-old daughter, Sarah, chasing a future she deserved. Sarah, now 16, was the only light in his dark days, sharp, ambitious, already dreaming of Harvard. She worked part-time at a grocery store after school, hiding her exhaustion behind that brave smile she had inherited from her mother. "Baba, don't worry," she would always say, placing her hand over his. "We'll get through this. You taught me to stand tall, remember?" Her words were strong, but Amir knew the weight she carried. That night, Amir folded the eviction letter and slipped it into his pocket just as Sarah walked in, soaked from the rain. She dropped her backpack, trying to act normal. "How was work?" Amir asked. She forced a smile. "Same. Customers yelling, boss screaming. But I'm saving up. Every dollar counts." Amir wanted to tell her the truth, that they were days away from losing the roof over their heads, but his pride refused. He only nodded, hiding the storm inside him. But fate had its own way of breaking silence. 3 days later, Sarah didn't come home after school. Amir panicked. He called her friends, her job, even the police, but hours dragged on with no word. Finally, near midnight, the phone rang. "Mr. Khan," a deep voice said. "Your daughter is with us." Amir's blood froze. "With who? Where is she?" The voice was cold, businesslike. "She owes us money. $500. If you don't pay, things will get ugly." Amir's knees buckled. He didn't understand. Sarah money. He tried to ask more, but the line went dead. He rushed through the rain, desperate, following the address they had texted him. It led him to a rundown warehouse by the East River. Inside, graffiti-covered walls echoed with the laughter of young men. And there she was, Sarah, her face pale, her backpack on the floor. "Baba!" she cried, rushing toward him, but one of the men grabbed her arm. "Not so fast," the leader sneered. He couldn't have been older than 20, tattoos crawling up his neck. "She borrowed money. Gambling. Stupid move for a smart girl." Amir's heart broke. He turned to Sarah, who lowered her eyes in shame. "I wanted to help, Baba. I thought, if I played online, maybe I could win big, pay the rent. I'm sorry." Tears burned Amir's eyes, but anger burned hotter. He faced the gang leader. "Take me. Leave her." The room erupted in laughter. "You," the leader smirked. "Old man, you can barely stand. But fine. You work for us. Deliver some packages. Do that, and maybe we'll forget this little debt. Amir knew what that meant. Drugs. Crime. The very world he had tried to protect his daughter from. But in that moment, he had no choice. For weeks, Amir became their errand boy, delivering bags across the city, cashing in envelopes. Every delivery ate away at his dignity, but every night, when he saw Sarah sleeping safely in their apartment, he told himself it was worth it. But the streets see everything, and they don't forgive. One night, a delivery went wrong. Police sirens screamed as Amir ran through the alleys, clutching a package. He was too slow. They tackled him, dragged him to the ground. At the precinct, under harsh lights, an officer tossed the bag onto the table. "Do you know what this is, old man?" Amir said nothing. His silence was louder than words. The officer sighed. "You're facing years in prison. Unless..." He slid a photo across the table, the gang leader Amir had been working for. "Help us take him down." Amir stared at the photo, his hands trembling. He thought of Sarah. Her future. Her dreams. For once, he couldn't stay silent. The trial that followed was chaos. The gang retaliated, threatening Amir, smearing his name, trying to break him. But he stood tall, testifying with every ounce of strength left in him. Sarah sat in the front row every day, her eyes locked on her father, tears shining but never falling. In the end, the gang leader was sentenced. Amir, because of his cooperation, was released under probation. Months later, their lives were still hard, but different. Amir found work again, not glamorous, just driving a yellow cab through the endless maze of New York streets. But for the first time in years, he felt free. One evening, Sarah placed an envelope in his hands. Inside was a letter from a university acceptance, full scholarship. She had written her essay about her father, titled, "Stand Tall Glowing Star, Nothing Can Break You." Amir's chest tightened as he read her words. "My father taught me that standing tall doesn't mean never falling. It means rising, again and again, no matter how many times life tries to break you. He is my hero." That night, Amir looked out at the skyline, lights glittering against the dark sky. He whispered to himself, to the city, to the memory of Amina watching over them, "Nothing can break us. Not anymore." And for the first time, he believed it.